की फतेह। वार श्री भगवती जी की पातशाही 10वीं प्रथम भगवती सिमर के गुरु नानक ਲਈ ਧਿਆਏ ਅੰਗਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਰਾਮਦਾਸੇ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾਏ। ਅਰਜਨ ਹਰ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਮਰੋ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਰਾਏ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਧਿਆਈਐ ਜਿਸ ਡਿਠੇ ਸਭ ਦੁਖ ਜਾਏ। ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਿਮਰਿਐ ਕਰ ਨੌ ਨਿਧ ਆਵੇ ਧਾਏ। 10ਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਭਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾਏ। 10 ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਜੋਤ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਾਠ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੀਦਾਰ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਧਰ ਕੇ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ। ਇਹ ਨਿਮਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਣ ਨਿਤਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਤਾਣ ਨੇ ਓਟਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਓਟ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਨ ਪਿਤਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਅਪਾਰ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਮਿਹਰ ਦਾ ਸਦਕਾ ਸਾਈਬਰ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੁੜ ਕੇ ਆਪ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਹਾਂ। ਆਪਣਾ ਮਿਹਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਆ ਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਆਪ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਅੱਖਰ ਵਾਧਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਪੁਲਚੁਗ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨੀ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਜ ਰਾਸ ਕਰਨੀ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਪਾਵੇ। ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਪਾਣੇ
ਸਰਬੱਤ ਕਾ ਭਲਾ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ
ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Okay, I can hear sounds in the background, so if you want to put yourself on mute unless you're speaking. Haji Waheguਰੂ Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguਰੂ Ji Ki Fateh. Ravinder Singh here from Columbus, connecting with you for another session of Khoj Gurbani. For those who were not here last week, we actually were discussing Pauri 32nd. So what I'll do is very quickly read through the 4 lines that the Pauri consists of. And then I will attempt to give you, for the benefit of those who are not here, a recap of some of the discussion that went on the last time. And then what I would propose is that we reach out to those who were not here the last time to have their say, and then we can proceed to some of the questions that emerged. So let me begin with the reading of the Pauri first. Hanji. ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਜੀਬੋਂ ਲੱਖ ਹੋਏ ਲੱਖ ਹੋਵੇ ਲੱਖ 20 ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਗੇੜਾ ਆਖੀਐ ਏਕ ਨਾਮ ਜਗਦੀਸ਼। ਏਤ ਰਾਹੇ ਪਤ ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਚੜੀਐ ਹੋਏ 21 ਸੁਣ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਕਾਸ ਕੀ ਕੀਟਾਂ ਆਈ ਰੀਸ। ਨਾਨਕ ਨਦਰੀ ਪਾਈਐ ਕੂੜੀ ਕੂੜੇ ਠੀਸ। So that in sum is the Pauri. We had a pretty robust discussion the last time around what the essence of this Pauri might mean, and I'll try and be as simple as I can. Essentially, I think there were 2 major perspectives that emerged from the discussion. One that suggested that in this Pauri, what is being hinted at is some sort of a path, some sort of a ladder, for climbing, and that this might also constitute the method of what we generally understand to be Nam Japana. In other words, since there is reference here to Jeeb, which means tongue, and a path, and Eight Rahe Pat Pauriya. So the one perspective was that Guruji here is basically explaining the methodology, if you will, of Nam Japna, which consists of recitation of some word, if you will, with your tongue. And that will then progressively lead you to some sort of a peak experience, I suppose, for want of a better expression. Or the experience that we are all striving for. And then on the other side, there was another perspective that suggested that actually it is quite the opposite. That Guruji here is trying to clarify that the use of the tongue for recitation and to equate that to Nam Japna is actually quite incorrect. And the argument there being made also was, I think the support in support of that argument was the lines Sun Galaya Akas Ki Kitairis and that the Kudi Kudatis, that this is really the boasting of those who are just imitators and not actually true seekers. So that, very broadly speaking, were the 2 sort of opposing ideas, although to my mind, if you look past the surface, they are not quite in such opposition, I think, and I'm hoping that that is what we will get to this time. So with that, let me reach out to those who were not here yesterday. So Dr. Rajat Singh, thank you for coming. I know you were not here, but you've heard from me what transpired. Would you like to weigh in?
Yes, I would. And let me weigh in by saying that the two versions that you've given, two interpretations that you've provided, I will provide you a third one, if you like.
Of
And this
course.
is poetry. It's a metaphoric. When it says "Ikduji bo lakh hove lakh bees," what's implied here, but not stated, is the word "if." That even if I had a million tongues, well, not a million, 100,000, a large number, and lakh lakh peda akhi ek nam jagdish, and even if each could utter a million times the name of whatever name or word that you wish, that would be not enough. That would be the boasting of people, and it's ultimately the grace by grace. Nanak nadri paiya kumritu, that is. It's by grace that you achieve that merger. So I would provide that interpretation.
Okay, so would you suggest then that, I mean, I'm picking up the sense here, and I'm trying to explore this with all of you, that regardless of the interpretation, there seems to be some suggestion of a practice or a discipline. So it could be a discipline that inculcates the use of the tongue. It could be a discipline that is vichar, which is the other, understanding. That again is a practice. I mean, you have to sort of, it is a discipline that you have to follow even to understand. So what would you think? Is the idea of repetition with your tongue being rejected here?
It's being said that repetition alone is not enough. The repetition is not the requirement per se, that you must do this. It's not a mandate. And no matter how much you do, it's not going to, it's like the pehli pauri jo hai line up.
Yes. Soche sochna wahi je sochi lakwa.
It's in that spirit. You say, don't get tied into a routine by saying that this is my way. It's going to take me up the stairs to meet God, the Creator. That's not the intent here.
Okay, excellent. So let's sort of hold on to the thought that you've just expressed. The fact that it is not a prescription. It is not a mandate. It doesn't say, thou shalt. You have to do this. On the other hand, it sort of left it open. So let me go to Gurdeep Singh Ji from Montreal, who was not with us, and let me ask him what his take is.
I know within the framework of these few lines, what my Virja said, he is correct there. But I think we have to go to explain it further. To begin, it has to begin from the tongue. We have to enunciate something. But unless we get into the love form of it, then it's useless. It won't bring us to take us to nowhere. But eventually it will give a burst through your love. Jisnu Bakshe Sift Salah, Nanak Padshai Pasha. And that line comes in practice. Beginning, I agree, if you just stop there, stay there, all life, you achieve nothing. But to me, there's a Pauri there, the steps to go up. So it gives me both the senses that we should start with the tongue. Rasnana jape naam til til kar katiye. So we have to begin with the tongue. Then further we have to develop into a form of a love, not to somebody. Thank you.
Let me ask you a follow-up question, and that is, in this Pauri, is there a suggestion that in order to evolve spiritually, you have to be engaged in some sort of practice or discipline. Or does it say that you just don't have to do anything, and if grace happens to descend upon you, you're good? If it doesn't, then no matter what you do, tough luck. What's your thought?
It has to be both sides. We have to do our efforts. Grace is very important all over Gurbani. Without grace, we achieve nothing. But we have to put some effort first. Then both sides are working. Then there will be grace, your effort, grace. Then you get in a form of a love. Prem Padarth Naam hai Pai, Paiye Gur Prasad. So we have to get into the Prem Padarth, to that stage. But here we are far away from that stage. This is just the beginning. But we
So
don't...
what you're saying is that they both go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Practice and grace. Some sort of discipline is involved.
Yes.
We don't know what that is because we are arguing about that discipline and practice. But some discipline is involved. So let me go back to...
love is always two-sided. Love is two-sided. We have to...
Hanji, thank you. Doctor, I just think I forgot to ask you this question. So what I just asked Gurdeep Singh ji, do you think that
I don't think it's telling you there is no method. That's not what it's saying.
I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself?
It's not saying to you that there is no method, no technique to be followed.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
But what it's saying to you is that the method in itself is not the end.
Yes.
That doesn't guarantee you this.
Yeah, no, that was my question to you, because it seems to be that we could quibble over what the method is, but there is certainly some practice, method, discipline, whatever you want.
In other words, don't get to the stage where you say, "Oh, I do 10 Sukhmani Sahibs every day,
exactly.
And therefore I have a right."
Yes.
Therefore, I'm bound to have a right. Huh?
Yes.
No, that's not. It's not that kind of an assignment.
We'll explore that further. Thank you, Dilpreet Singh ji.
No, but that's part of this hymn. That's part of the hymn. You got to look at the individual line, but you also could look at the totality.
We'll come back to that. Let me go to Dilpreet Singh ji.
Hanji, I listened to it was very informative and very learning, the discussion which has happened last time. And I have been also struggling with this definition, so I will share my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking that when Guru Arjan Dev Ji was compiling the Guru Granth Sahib, and there were some Bhagats who came with their Bani to Guruji and said that, okay, when you are compiling this Granth, why don't you take our Bani and include it in Guru Granth Sahib? And then he asked them that, okay, you recite it. And then he said that, no, it is not matching the standards. So now, what are the standards of Gurbani? We need to see that what is the basics, and we should not go away from the basics. So for me, the standards of Gurbani is that it should not contradict with the Mool Mantra, which is the basis or the definition. And then we have discussed how, and then the next thing is, every stanza or every line should answer the two questions that Kiv Sachiara hui hai ki pure tutte paal. It should impacting, it is first person instructions to me, and then it should also not contradict with the lives of the gurus, because gurus have lived the life what they have prescribed. So they have created new cities, they have done the establishments of town, they have fought the battles, they had a family, and they have married their children, they have sent their daughters. So again, it should not contradict with their life. And then the other important thing is that it should not contradict with Gurbani's other lines. So now Guruji has also named his Gurbani as Jap. So the Japji Sahib, we include the word Ji later on, but Guruji has named his first Bani as Jap there. I take that as the name of the Bani. If we take Jap as the name of the Bani, then this whole Jap Bani is the definition of Jap, what Guru Nanak Dev Ji means. So his Jap now, and then follow the trend in the previous Paudis and the next Paudis. if you see the trend, he is defining that where Akal Purakh is, and then he is also saying this is where he's saying that okay, people are trying to find him or meet him this way, and then slowly he will move towards the end bodies. That is where he will go and explain his perspective. And I feel that it is against the repetition, will not get us anywhere. Veerji, Gurjeet Singh ji gave us very good examples. We need to question ourselves. That has repetition made anybody wise? Has repetition, has anybody understood anything by repeating? And again, there are many names in Gurbani. We will get into contradictions that one is greater than the other. And
okay,
then,
so let me just stop here for a second. So what I really want to get at is not simply that it's repetition or not repetition, but I want to broaden this thought a little bit. I'm trying to push at whether a method is involved, whether there is some practice involved in spiritual evolution. It may not be repetition, because you said repetition never made anyone wise. Well, vichar doesn't guarantee wisdom either. I know, you could be doing vichar all your life and there is no guarantee that you'll become wise as a result. So I think there is a little bit more involved here. And I think that Dr. Singh alluded to when he said, don't get into this business about counting. Don't get caught in the method, whatever the method might be. And I want to come back to that. So my question to you is, so you probably think that the method is not repetition, but do you think there is some practice being suggested here? Because a ladder seems to suggest some sort of evolution, some growth. It seems to suggest that. So that's what I'm trying to put out there.
Right.
Can I add?
Can you give us a second? Let Dilpreet finish. I'll come back to you.
Sure.
See, again, it is saying that this will not get you, or this is not the method, or this is not only the method, because we cannot contradict or we cannot say that this is 100% wrong or 100% right. And again, the other thought which I want to throw here is,
so is there a method you think is that the suggestion here? Is that the suggestion here, or do you...
the last Pauri where Jat Pahara, Tiras, Sanyar, Aharan Mat, Ved Hathyar. So Guru Nanak's method is coming down the line, I think. But then I want to throw another thought here, okay? So, see, we have been so inspired, or all our literature or sakhis which we have been listening have been influenced by Garud Pran and other things. So then we have to ask a question, right? One poet is asking Guruji, je teri kalana da maksad yahi si, ta chalu pakhanda which fir mada ki si. So what was wrong in that? So he has given a different perspective. He has gone to yogis, and now yogis were doing Simran and all. Now if we say that concept is right, so then there is no difference, because if you go to Gurdwara now, what they are saying is कि फर्क सिर्फ इतना ही देंदा दिखाई कि ब्राह्मण दी गद्दी ते बैठा है भाई, तो उत्थे it is everything is same. उत्थे again विआहां दे लालच, औलादां दे लारे, स्वर्गां मुक्तियां.
We are getting away from the
Where I'm trying to bring the thought is that the jap tap which was prevailing at that time, or everybody was believing in that jap tap, Guru Nanak Dev Ji has redefined that jap. He called his Bani as jap, which has 38 bodies. Those are the 38 steps. Once we follow, practice that in life, that is what Guru Nanak's jap is to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hanji, Dr. Ajay Singh, you were trying to say
something. The reason we get caught on repetition, and we don't need to be, but the reason is very simple. If you look at the practices around at the time, the Hindu practices, and in general, religious practices, look at all religions, any religions, they catch on to a mantra, a magical spell, and they repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, so it becomes automatic, self-hypnotizing, and they think that is the thing. And he says the whole idea is to say that this is not the way. Repetition is not necessarily the way. That's the way I look at it.
Andy, thank you. I think I want to go to Panji, just Veer Kaur, get her perspective.
हाँ जी, वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Vijay, as you are saying, there are two perspectives. So
there might be more than two, for all I know. There might be endless perspectives, but this is what broadly came out in the last discussion.
Yes.
I'm going to do a third one today.
I heard about
and then there was a third one today, and there might be a fourth one. So
Sure.
There's endless perspectives. We'd like to hear yours.
Okay. So actually, I was thinking that Gurbani told us to question and examine all your actions, your thoughts, your words before they come in practice or they are come in your life. So according to me, what I am thinking from the last line, Nanak Nadri Paye. So Nadir always comes through the Sharan Marg. So Gurbani, whichever effort I am doing, I am realizing that this is because of your Nadar. So when this surrender state of mind comes, then the practices start. So whatever practice you are doing, it's always within the nadar of that God, within the nadar of that such. So as there is this Pauri saying et raha pat Pauriya, it's totally saying that this is the only Ra, et raha pat Pauriya. Et raha pat Pauriya, this raha that explains before 3 lines. With this raha, you'll climb this ladder. Of what ladder? Pat Pauriya chadiye hoye ease. So it mikta da ra. So how can it be that it mikta da ra without nadar? So even Gurbani says about the ladder, Gur Pauri, Bedi Guru, Gur Tulha Har Now. This Gur is the Pauri. This Gurbani is the Pauri. The whole Gurbani is the Pauri. So this line told me that above lines can't be the ladder. So ladder is always nadar hetha, and nadar we can have God's nadar or Guru's nadar only when I am in surrender. Ab hum chali Thakur pe haar. Whatever I am doing, I was doing. I didn't get that ikmikta wali stage. I didn't get that blissfulness. Now I want the nadar, and nadar comes through surrender.
So can you help us, at least help me understand this ikmiktawali stage? How do you tell that whether somebody is in this particular stage or not? I mean, are there any markers for this?
Gurbani says like Anand Paya Meri Mai Satguru Mein Paya, or when Gurbani says Sukhmani Sukh Amrit Prabnam Pagat Jana Ke Man Vishram, that Vishram wali stage, or always blissfulness when I'm feeling, I'm not like Dolan wali stage to out ho jana, always in one state of mind. So Dolan wali stage na ana is like what I say कि तुहानू बाहरला प्रभाव ना लेना, माया दे प्रभाव तो बाहर होना.
Okay, thank you, Dee. So I think I've made the round with all of those who were not here the last time.
No, I was not there.
Hanji, I'm sorry, Ji. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you.
Paramjit Singh.
Hanji, well, I was. तुसी होना आए होगे फिर.
नहीं, I was sorry. Anyways, so I have been. Yes.
My apologies. So let's go to you then.
Yes, I was listening I have listened to everybody's comments. few things I just noticed. One thing, the point was made that there is threshold, which must be met in Gurbani. So each line should meet that threshold, which is our Mool Mantra. My concern is that it's not the line, it is the collective idea which is expressed has to meet the threshold. When we look at each line, because each line is trying to explain to us the whole concept. So that's one comment I want to make. The second thing is, we talked about Suniye and Maniye, char podiyan, we heard about Suniye and char podiyan of Maniye, that we have to understand and we have to internalize the Gurbani message. But understanding and internalization cannot happen unless your mind has a clarity, it has a focus to understand, to listen to the message. These three lines in the beginning, the process they are telling is how to get that clarity before you start understanding these lines, the message Guru Sahib is giving, and before you can internalize that one. So I think this is a practice here. It is not a condition to understand Bani if people are advanced enough. They have focus, they have clarity. Yes, they can jump into that, start understanding it. But for other people, the recitation of that, as we were talking about, via tongue and eventually by Chetana, is a process which Guru Sahib is talking about here. That this is a process for you to get the clarity. Once you have the clarity, yes, you can go and understand and internalize Gurbani message. That's my understanding.
Hanji, thank you, Ji. Have I missed anybody else who was not here last week? No, I haven't. Okay. All right. So we've had a chance to listen to the folks who joined us today. There's this question that Dilpreet Singh raised, a rather interesting one that Paramjit Singh Ji Rana commented on. And I would like to pursue that line of thought for a little while. So Gurjeet Singh Ji, I know you're on, and you've sort of probably heard the back and forth, but since you've also raised a similar idea of what is the litmus test for understanding Gurbani, would you like to shed some light on what Dilpreet has just said also?
I think he's having connection issue. He just joined back. Gurjeet Ji, are you there?
Hanji Bhai Sahib.
Hanji.
Okay, we'll come back to him then if he hasn't picked up on the discussion. Let me ask Gurdeep Singh Virji, and then we'll go back to him. Gurdeep Singh Virji, Amritsar, are you on? Harvinder, is he on?
He's on, but he is.
Hanji Virji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh Ji. Hanji. Hanji, so you've heard the discussion so far, I hope.
ਹਾਂਜੀ मैं पूरा सुनिया है
ਹਾਂਜੀ
और perspectives ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ I am trying to understand what the perspectives are being talked
ਹਾਂਜੀ
but my perspective is that Gurbani at number of places describes about naam japna with rasna japti tu hi Rasna Gidi, Bolat Naam, or like this, there are at so many places. And as far as myself is concerned, I understand simple meanings here of Rasna. And Japna with Rasna, that to others who are giving this perspective that this by rasna we mean something internal, some rasna does not mean the physical rasna, and this I am not able to digest, because with this physical japna with rasna, if it is so much negated in Gurbani, I don't think it is done.
Hanji, ठीक है जी. Let me carry that thought a little further.
And I will have this. I will add to this. If I am allowed to quote the, I mean, of course, examples from Gurbani is the best way to illustrate, but we cannot simply. I mean, there are so many saints in our path, and they have been describing the path of Japna, how to, they have been illustrating, and they have proven to be like Santatar Singh Ji Maharaj, this beyond doubt, they were real saints. And when they were telling that Jap has to start with Rasna, then we should not have difficulty in accepting this.
Hanji, thank you, Viji. Before I push this thought a little further, let me ask Eileen if she has anything to add.
Hanji, okay. I originally thought that the question was similar to what was being posed here. Is this, you know, should I focus my energy in thinking about this Pauri on recitation? Should you recite something? Should you not recite something? And I find it's a little distracting, I guess, from a deeper meaning. I think the debate we're having is about the meaning of Nam, and sort of, if you say Jap Nam, you know, are we talking about something that's just empty of content, or are we talking about something that's full of content, right? But here in this Pauri, what I'm connecting to is really the idea of what is false and boastful bragging that's talked about. Like what is being sort of cautioned against in that context. And so when I think about that, it connects me very, very well to the next Pauri. And so I'm interested in the way that any process, maybe it's a recitation, maybe it's a vichar, maybe, you know, whatever it is, maybe there's a danger to focusing too much on the process and not on the origin or the content behind that process. And so maybe that's really the underlying message that connects a little bit more, like, holistically. So that's what I'm thinking.
Thanks for that insight, Eileen. And I think you make a very valid point here, which I want to open up to the panel. You know, not the overreaching or getting too caught up in the process is something that even Dr. Ajay Singh, I think, at the very outset said. So I want to actually talk about this in conjunction with what Gurdeep Singh Viji from Amritsar has raised. You know, I think what we are going back and forth with is there seems to be some aversion that you just have to discount the tongue or recitation. And I'm, of course, not, you know, I mean, I'm not making any judgment one way or the other, but I'm picking up on that. And there seems to be an emphasis, on the other hand, on vichar. To me, where I'm sitting, they both are, they seem to be a process, and they could be part of the same process. I also want to throw out there, as you respond to this, the idea that somehow the body is disassociated from the mind. It seems to me that in many activities that we do, and I know that Dr. Ajay Singh and I have often talked about this, repetition is sometimes the first step. Even in trying to learn a tennis stroke, I mean, you really have to practice over and over again until it becomes a part of your muscle memory. So I just want to toss this out there. Are we more concerned about whether we should recite or not, or whether we should do vichar or not, or is there an underlying caution here, as Eileen is saying, that we shouldn't get caught up in any process, you know, and lose sight of the content? Haji, Dr. Ajay Singh, let me come back to you.
Well, again, I did not make the case for discounting this.
I'm sorry, can you speak up a little? You're a little low again.
Sorry. The point is not to discount repetition or discount rasana. That was not the point. But the point was not to consider the repetition, the tongue, as the end point.
Right.
It's part of the process only. And
Right.
that in itself will not be enough for that merger. That will come through grace. And that was the
Yes.
point. So it does not say don't do repetition. It doesn't say don't think about it, don't do it. That's not the point. That is not the point that was made.
Yes.
What I was pushing.
Anji. Harvinder Singh, I haven't reached out to you. Do you want to say something?
No, I think I agree with just what Dr. Ajit Singh just said, that instead of looking it in the other direction, that repetition will take us somewhere, we should look the other way around, that only repetition will not take us anywhere, that this is not enough, that we need to do more. So instead of just saying that it is a bad or good, we should just say that it is not enough.
And if I may add one more little thought that I left out.
Anji.
The next line basically tells you that don't get proud or boastful of the fact that you have repeated it a million times.
Correct.
That is what, again, it's not discounting the process. It's back to the learning the strokes in any sports, whatever we do.
Yes. So, Haji, Gurjit Singh Virji in Australia, are you on?
Gurjit Virji, you are mute right now. You have to unmute.
Okay, ji, Hanji.
Can you share your perspective on some of the thoughts that have been thrown around?
I've written on the blog. I don't know how many people have read it.
No, but we are talking about whether we are talking about whether or not whether the process itself is being discounted or not.
Totally discounted. It has been said ਕੀੜਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਖੇਡ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੀੜੇ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਆਕਾਸ਼ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ
Can you stick to English, please?
Yeah, they have been maggots. ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ the manmoks of ultimate status have started this wrong practice. I'll give you one or two examples. Okay? There is a Shabad in Bhagat Kabir's Bani. Buddha Bans Kabir ka upajo put kamal. And all these maggots who just repeat this name, they have said Kabir has got a son named as Kamala from their own side. Whereas Kabir says ki tode man paida hoya hai, your mind has born out of your hirda, your chit. Har ka simran chhad ke kar le aaya mal. This is a story of every Eve. But they have misinterpreted because there are two bodies. Those who think the outer body is a primary, they only see tongue. Those who see that there is an internal body is the only body, they will do it through rasana, means buddhi. This conflict will always be there.
So can I just stop you here for a second? So your buddhi also has to reside in your body. It's not outside of your physical body.
But buddhi, buddhi
so you could not. So even if hang on. Let me just finish my thought here, because I think the others maybe sort of. I want to get others' reaction on this. The point I'm trying to make is that you have been emphasizing chetana and consciousness. My point is that chetana or consciousness cannot exist in a disembodied state in human beings. It is embodied within a body. So it has to use physical organs in order to express itself, as far as I can tell. And a tongue is an apparatus so you can't, in my mind, I don't think you can completely discount the body at all.
Okay, I will read you a shlok and you say, bol ke, when you speak, ji tusi gyan dinde ho. You never take a gyan when you speak. The basic system is wrong. I'll read you a shlok. You comprehend. This is by Bhagat Kabir ji.
You can't. No. Hang on. Just, I asked you a simple. I raised a point here, and you're going to ask me to interpret a shlok. Now, I said, do you agree that?
No, I will interpret.
Yeah.
I will interpret, and because we have to learn from Gurbani, we don't have to learn from yogis.
What totally failed in religion? There are
We are simply trying to focus on 4 lines from Japji here.
Yes, but you can't leave the 4 pauris behind this, Ji. This pauri is related to Gyan Pandar, Asan Loe Loe Pandar. How to increase the Pandara? How to increase that Pandara which we are born with? We have to increase it, Ji. This is the method.
So what is Pandara to you? Can you clarify that also?
Spiritual wisdom. In whole of Gurbani, Pandara word is always used for spiritual wisdom, not even once for the food which the outer body eats. Never ever. Because Gurbani is a Brahm Gyan, talks about spiritual food.
So
So if
Pandara
you go out
about?
of spirituality, you can interpret it anyway, but if we focus within spirituality, then the meanings will be different.
I think this disjointed view of the body and the spirit is perhaps the root of the problem.
Can I just read one pankti to you so that everyone can follow? This is by Guru Amar Das Ji. वो कहने हैं इस युग का धर्म पढ़ो तुम भाई. I am teaching you the religion of this world. इस युग का धर्म पढ़ो तुम भाई. पूरे गुर सब सोजी पाई. This will answer the question raised by a few people. I think by Dilpreet Singh. Which Bani will come in Gurbani? Pure Gur. If you don't have a Pura Gur, which means Puran Brahm or Satgur, no other Bani is accepted to a Sikh. Satgur ki Bani Sat Swarup hai Gurbani bani hai. Then what he says, can I read you one more line?
No, let me stop you there. Yes, we need a Pura Gur. And I think what we are trying to do right now is understand what that Guru is trying to tell us through this pauri.
He says no need of repetition.
That is where. So fine. I mean, I accept that. That is your interpretation.
No, it's not my interpretation. I give you 1,000 panktis for that. 1,000, I'm telling you.
But they're all
anyone
interpreted
give me
by...
one against it. I want
we are
one
not getting into. We are not getting into a match here, Gurjeet Singh Virji. We are trying to.
No. That's what I'm trying to say.
We are trying.
I've written an article.
We are trying to get different viewpoints. You've seen how different people have come together and have different takes on this pauri. That's the whole idea of this exercise. It's not about.
But how many people have written on the blog, sir? People may have 25,000. You write and then
quite a few. And I read a blog where I think it was Paramjit Singh Ji Rana who said that I'm not, I can't sort of come up very quickly with panktis, so that shouldn't put my interpretation at a disadvantage. So let's kind of keep this a little simple.
Yeah, मैं थानू एक लाइन पढ़दा. राम पढ़ो मन करो विचार. You have to read Gurbani and मन करो विचार गुर प्रसादी मैल उतार.
हाँ जी.
तो जे आप राम पढ़ांगे विचार करांगे, we will go to the Sachkhand. जे आप repetition करांगे, there are 100 questions against repetition. केड़ा नाम repeat करांगे? Which नाम you will repeat? ये अपने पास सब तो बड़ी problem आ जाएगी.
So let me throw this out to the participants. Dr. Ajit Singh, you were trying to say something.
Important, but I would say that without vichar, nothing will be accomplished.
Can you say that again? You're not coming through very clearly.
Without vichar, nothing is going to work.
Yes.
That's very clear.
Yes, now, but you were saying something about...
No, let me complete my thought now. The vichar karan lage, the differences in interpretation will definitely arise.
Sure.
There is no difference. I mean, Guru is not giving us duplicate or erroneous messages. The message is quite constant. But apni buddhi de hisab naal assi unu interpret karna hai. We interpret it according to what we are capable of thinking. And therefore, there will be differences in interpretation. So let's recognize the differences that arise, and that's what vichar is all about.
Absolutely. And I would sort of echo that by saying that we are all coming to Gurbani with our own sort of mindsets and our own experiences and our own understanding, and obviously it is not all going to be alike. But what I would urge the participants to do is to preface what they say by saying, this is what I think, or this is how I understand it, rather than making a very categorical statement dismissing any other interpretation. So we've got to just live with it. I mean, you know, people have all kinds of interpretations and views about Shabads that are coming. But I think one thing is certain. We are all trying to understand from the Pura Guru, what is the Guru trying to say to me? And we might all be picking up different hints. So let's stick with that. Haji, Dilpreet Singh ji, I haven't come to you in a while.
Haji, can you hear me okay?
Hanji, I can hear you okay. There's a lot of static in the background, Harvinder, which is making it hard to hear and understand what anyone is saying.
Yeah, please, can everyone can mute unless you're speaking?
Hanji,
Hanji,
that's better. Hanji.
I think, with all respect, I think the objective here is, as we are saying that Ditthe Mukat na hove, Jichar Shabad na kare vichar, the repetition. What I am taking from this discussion, what I am learning is that if I am repeating anything without understanding its meaning, then it is of no use to me. And Gurbani is, as our definition as a Sikh, is to learn. So if I am doing anything without learning, even I am repeating Japji Sahib or anything without understanding or learning, there is no way I can apply to myself. And then, so that is what is negated here, that we have to start understanding is. And then going back to your previous question, you asked, right, that what is the litmus test? So in the Name Mohalle shloks, again, Guruji has a very simple tests and definitions. He says, Kar kar main har ju basai santan kiho pukar, kaho nanak tis bhaj mana, paunid utro par, utre par. But then he is defining that who is that sukh dukh jeh par se nahi lob moh abhiman, kaho nanak sun re mana so murat bhagwan. And then he has the definition that who is mukat. And then it goes so on, so forth. So again, we have to see that we have respect for all the sants and who have written good books. But again, we have to evaluate them as per the definition of Gurbani, that are they the sant or the purush, or what we have respect for them? Are they in line with the definition of Gurbani? If we say that that guy is mukat, then the definition of mukti is harak sok jaake nahi, bari meet saman, kaho nanak sun re mana, mukat tahe te jaan. So these are the litmus tests which are defined, and all of these tests are on the qualities. So at the end of the day, what I am taking is, it is development of qualities which will only come by understanding and implementing Gurbani. Thank you.
Hanji. Hanji, Paramjit Singh ji, I know you had raised some questions on the blog and you raised some of the questions here. Do you want to say anything further?
Yes, I posed some questions and I was hoping Gurjeet Singh ji can respond to that. But coming back to the point that Virji made, it's very important, as he said, understanding vicharna and to internalize, to adopting is very important. Gurbani is reinforcing that concept. But the question I have for anybody here, if you try to understand me and you're sitting in a baseball game, when you can't hear me, so much noise is going on, would you be able to internalize because you can't understand me? The point of meditation, what Guru Sahib is talking about, you have to quieten your inside. You have to bring the whole energy into focus before you can understand what Gurbani is saying. But somebody wrote a very good blog that sometimes we do Japji Sahib part and we finish the part we don't know. It is already finished because our mind is so cluttered. The point of these first three lines is, it's not a process we must adopt. But if you have excelled to the stage that you can get into a focus stage very well, that's fine. Otherwise, the process is saying that you have to get the clarity, you have to clear your mind. Panda tota acha hoye si. Guru Sahib is talking about that you have to clean inside, and that is the whole thing what I was talking about before.
Hanji, Hanji, Anji, Gurdeep Singh ji, Montreal.
Hanji, मैं विचार करना चाहता, we had discussed very good discussion, but I think we were jumping from one stage to the other one. One is talking about the supreme stage, one is in between, one is in the beginning. For example, Kabir Sahib, first of all, he started with Gurmantar. Kau Kabir Akhar Doe Paak, Hoega Khasam, Talega Rakh. That's Ram. Sukhmani Sahib said, Baram Bar Bar Prabh Japiye, Pi Amrate Mantan Trafiye. Repetition is of a Gurmantar. We have to take Gurmantar first. Otherwise, whole Gurbani is a Mahamantar. Gurmantar which we take, for example, as a Sikh from the 5 Pyaras in the Hijri of Guru Granth Sahib, which we call it Amrit. But it's Amrit nahi. नॉन इज अमृत प्रभ का नाम देही में लिखा बताऊं, जिसमें गुरु वाले बनना, गुरु मंत्र लेना, वो गुरु मंत्र का रिपीटेशन करना है. गुरु मंत्र ला चितार, फिर दुख न थी भाई. गुरु ग्रंथ साहब 51 पेज से दुख क्लेश न पाओ भी आपे, गुरु मंत्र हृदय होए कोट जतना कर रहे, गुरु बिन तरियो ना कोई. So this is the beginning. We have to take Guru Mantra, then repeat Guru Mantra, baram bar bar prab japiye. Then you will see it will open the windows for you. You will eventually get into love. You will love in Guru. Guru means Gurbani, Gurbani, Guru Mantra. So this is the whole process to me. The manjal, the top. Jin har japya se har hoye, har milya kel kalali. We can't find who is perfect, who is not. Because Jin Prabhu payo, दिनेश पायो. कबीर सादी बाणी काहे रे बुक बाद लगायो, जिन पर पायो दिनेश पायो. He will not speak जिन पा लिया. So we can't judge to somebody else. We have to judge our own self. देखो साढ़े अंदरली खोज करनी है. एक काया जिहड़ी सी है ना, काया अंदर 9 खंड पृथ्वी, हट पटन बचारा, हट पटन बाजारा. काया खोजे सो गुरमुख होवे. So everything is within us, but this is a process. When we meditate, we sit. Eventually, beginning is of course, luni sil chutney. It's very hard. Akha sacha now. But eventually you will see, once you start, you will fall in love. Automatically, then system will come. Then you can then find a japa jap. Without doing any effort, you don't have to sit there, you don't have to close your eyes, you have to do nothing. But automatically it's a repetition because of love. It will happen. Anyway, thank you.
So Hanji, thank you, Jivirji. We have a few minutes left. I think we are hearing the same divergence over and over again.
Virji, I have a question for Gurdeep Singh ji, if you, whenever you are ready. Okay.
Hanji, go ahead. Since he just finished speaking, you might as well.
Right. So he mentioned about the Guru Mantra. Is there, if he can give us any example of Guru Mantra from Guru Granth Sahib, that will help us?
Anji, Gurdeep Singh Virji, that question was addressed to you.
Let's see page number 14 or 2. Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. फिर उत्थे लिखा है मंत्र ये है जान. 13 बारी गुरु वाहेगुरु अखर आएगा 14 और 2 दे उत्ते. फिर उत्थे लिखा है अगे ये मंत्र ये है जान. You read that pages, then get back to me next session. Did you find it? Because it's a very cosmopolitan. एक गुरु मंत्र वाहेगुरु वाहेगुरु पाएगुरु. दाने क्या वाहेगुरु गुरु मंत्र है?
ਆਪਾਂ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ.
ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, yes, study it 13 times ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ word, 2 pages 14 or 2 and 14 or 3 ਤੇ ਆਏਗਾ. That the only word repeated 13 times, and you will read this ਗੁਰ ਮੰਤਰ ਹੈ ਜਾਨ. You will read that line also. सत सात श्री निवास आदि पुरख सदा तू ही वाहेगुरु 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 वाहे जियो. इन्हें पूरा पढ़ियो तो फिर दसा के इन्नी बड़ी हो कोई. But this to me it gives a direction, and I don't want to pose on.
I understand. Dilpreet, as you also understand. I mean, we are all sort of coming.
No, you are right. Perfect here, but
we are not debating who's right and who's wrong. I think anyone that has said anything here tonight has offered great insights. And I don't think the idea is to resolve this difference. I think it's suffice to sort of understand that we'll always have differences in interpretation. So we have about 2 or 3 minutes left. Does anybody want to make any last final comment? Because I think we've exhausted this.
Can I make it some points? अच्छा, Because we are not basing, I think most of our discussion is not based on Gurbanis or Panktis. I want to tell you what the Japna means in indirect sense. We think Japna is Pukarna, but Japna is not Pukarna. Japna is to understand. Shlok is from 5th Guru. Mat Puri Pradhan Te Gur Pure Man Mant. Jin Janyo Prabh Apna. He has purposefully written the word Jin Jan, not Japyo here. Lot of times it comes Japyo. So he's trying to indicate us some sort of direction that Jin Janyo Prabh Apna. We have to know our Prabh, not just repeat him. Repetition won't let us know. The whole Gurbani was only written for one purpose, so that it even goes to through Prahlad. If you say in the olden times, we have taken an example from through Prahlad. Prahlad kahe, suno meri maaye Ram, naam na chodo, gur diya bujai. This is a reference, which means that Ram Naam was something we have to come and bujjanasi. We have not to repeat it. Ram ko
Hanji,
roji.
I get
Ram.
your point, Vijay. I've got to cut you off. You only have a minute left, and I do appreciate your insight. I just want to close the conversation by saying that even those that are recommending or think that recitation is the start or the beginning of this process, I don't think anyone is suggesting here that that is the end all. That I think everyone here at least seems to suggest that that may be the beginning, but it has to lead you on to an understanding and internalization. So I think on that we are all agreed that Nira Japna, or just with the tongue, is not the end all of this practice. So with that said, I'm afraid we're out of time. Thank you very much for a great conversation, and hopefully we'll pick up again next Wednesday on the 33rd Pauri. And with that, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you, Fateh.